Wilson Morales from Blackman TV talking to Eiza González and Aaron Paul regarding this new sci-fi film, Ash. What led you to say you're taking on? Yes, Aaron, you've done sci-fi before, but this is different.
Yeah, I mean, I love Eiza so much. You know, this was presented to us at the same time. She's been a dear friend of mine for many years. I've been such a fan of hers, just as a dear friend, but I really applaud her on all of her work. I'm always cheering her on. And so, of course, I've always dreamt of kind of tackling something with her. And so it was nice to be able to just have each other's backs through this whole process, even before signing on. And, you know, luckily we both really connected with the story that we were telling and, our roles. And then we connected with Fly on Lotus, our director, and we tackled it. But I got to tell you, just to be able to witness, and I've said this so many times today, but it deserves to be said over and over and over again, to be able to witness firsthand every day Eiza's process. Like, she cares so much, as a performer, as a partner, collaborator. She puts so much time into her preparation. I mean, it's blinding. And it was like, really made me, and I always try to come prepared, of course, but I'm like, I gotta step up my game here. I want to come to set with a bunch of notes now. You know what I mean? Like,
I want my binder to be heavy.
I want my binder to be packed.
Big.
But it's amazing just to watch her. I mean, creates like a timeline, and I mean, it was beautiful. So yeah, it was really, she was the driving force, to be honest, to be able to just tackle something with her. And then luckily the script and the director just checked all the boxes. So yeah.
For you, Eiza, you're pretty much in every scene, and I'm sure there's a lot you have to prepare for, especially in scenes where it's just you by yourself and you have to do all these emotional scenes as if you're doing theater. How do you work out that process?
You nailed it. It's actually kind of great that you said that, because I hadn't really talked about it, but that's how I kind of saw it. It's like there's a real theater sort of base in it. It's every moment matters, right? In movies like this, there's no like, we cut away to this or we cut away to that. Like, every minute you're being observed by the audience, and that technically brings you back to theater. And you have to sort of have the endurance and the stamina that takes to be in theater and really shoulder the emotional baggage that comes with a role like this in a film like that. And it was to me, game on. That is my bread. I'm like a frustrated, probably, like, I would have killed it in like football if I was a football player.
Yeah.
Like, I love a challenge. And so I was really sort of fueled by it. And I really dived into the psychology of what she was going through and purpose of this film, right? Because this genre has been done. We've kind of gone through these, but I was like, to me, it's always like, what is the purpose of this role or this movie? What's the difference to other movies and why this movie matters? And to me, I felt like, wow, Riya is a gift for female characters. I've seen sort of in the 90s growing up, so many good movies, but it was like sort of like leaning to one side or to the other. It never kind of merged both. And this really merges like a vulnerability of a human being. I don't even like to call it a woman, just a human being going through the emotional roller coaster of deciphering who you are, like your identity, your loss of identity, and simultaneously still having a lot of faith and belief. And that takes a different type of person. And I can truly say I'm not that kind of person. And so I admired that in Riya, and I wanted to sort of take that away from her while simultaneously just embodying such a gravitas performance and really try and like dive into it and lose myself in her and sort of find myself while losing myself in her. And I was so blessed, and I was so lucky to have partners the way that I had. Aaron was an amazing, and by the way, the entire cast and crew, they were just like there day in and day out and just giving their all. And we're just so grateful.
Aaron, like as I said it before, this genre has been done differently, but similar before. We can name different films what this will be compared to. Is there anything you wanted to add to the script that's different? That you wanted to add that's different from the script, because you can get the script and just kind of just play, whatever the part is. But this is not a
Yeah.
big budget film, and it's independent, which hopefully may give you room to talk to either the director or the screenwriters. Like, what if this character did this or that?
I mean, it was
did that.
definitely it was definitely a collaborative effort. I mean, it was on the page, really, but there was.
No, you brought a lot to it, I have to
But
say.
oh,
He did. He's
I
not gonna say it, but he did. He did. And that, without giving out away too much, his character is very complicated. If anything, to me, it's the most complicated role in the movie. And it takes a lot of like understanding about a lot of things that Aaron, I think he doesn't realize that he understands, and it's like a achievement because he does it so naturally. But what he's doing, it's like so unconscious because he has such an understanding, but it's so effortless about Aaron. Aaron's not like boasting about it. He's just doing it. And it did, like, in order for the movie to work, Aaron's role needs to be really grounded. And there's moments it could go south and it didn't. Really like, no, truly, like
Yeah.
you grounded that performance in a way that it makes it amazingly terrifying in such a subtle way. And that is a real testament. And that was not necessarily in the page. That could have gone south. And you brought that to the character.
Well,
You
I
really
love
did.
you. I love you.
He really did. It's always hard as an actor to talk about but you, as another actor, seeing him doing it on the day, you can watch someone sort of creating magic. And it was really, I'm not such a good actress like him. I would have done something really cheesy and bad. I promise you. I really do, because I even think of how when I was reading it.
How much does she crush this thing?
No, but it's true. It's true.
You
Right?
did well. You did good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But you know
did
what I
good,
mean,
girl.
right?
You did, girl.
It's great to watch someone create the way he did. He brought something really layered and beautiful and subtle. Subtly terrifying. You were subtly terrifying.
When you get these sci-fi movies, you always say to yourself, when there's a crew, and I've seen enough of these movies where, like, okay, who's gonna survive at the end?
Right. Who's
like, look,
yeah.
and right on the last page, And
Right.
as it's the Flying Lotus, it goes, well, you're the brother, so did you take yourself out? And they say the brothers are the first ones to go. But he's the director, so I was like, yeah, where did you put yourself in the movie?
That's hilarious. Yeah, Mexicans always go down first. It was like a very rare experience. This one, I was like, Mexican that didn't die from the get-go? That's incredible.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But at the end of the day, obviously, there's a lot of movies out there, whether they hit streamers or they're in theaters. We have a glut of projects out there, which is great. People are eating, they're getting paid. What's going to get an audience to see this movie?
It's just such a visual spectacle with a crazy messed up like story from beginning to end, but that's really thought provoking, and you really never know what's just around the corner. And it's a movie that you want to see on the largest screen possible, just because it's just it's something that you've never seen before. I mean, in terms of the visuals and what Flylo has sort of created.
Yeah, it's a unique film. It's a movie with a point of view, with a voice, with an artistic take. It's exhilarating. It's everything you want to watch. It's a horror survival film with sci-fi aspects and psychological thriller. It's even hard to speak about the movie without spoiling anything, because the movie from the get-go has twists and turns. If you like adrenaline, if you like the discovery of the unknown and sort of like to be sent in a tailspin, this is it. And it's not only interesting and fun, but it's visually stunning. It's beautiful, and it's authentic, and it's a fresh take into a sci-fi thriller horror genre in space. So I hope people enjoy it, and we had an amazing time making it.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats on your roles. Congrats on the film. Obviously, the genre could use a boost, and this is it. So let's hope it does as well as we think. And then I'm sure I'll talk to you down the road on your whatever the next projects may be.
I
Thank you
appreciate it,
very
Wilson. Thank you
much.
so much, my friend.
Take care, folks.
Bye.
Wilson Morales from Black Film TV talking to director Flying Lotus on his new film, Ash. How's it going?
It's going really well. It's going really well out here in Austin. Really beautiful day.
Definitely, it's a little warm here in New York City, but here we are. You got this movie. Obviously, it's not your
Yeah.
first film you've done, but what led you to take on this project?
It was the script. It was the potential for the world building. I saw an opportunity to create a thing like, this is my little Star Wars movie. I felt that I had so much that I could say with this, with 90 minutes of runtime. There was so much that I could bring to it. So it was really attractive to me in that way. And yeah, it's like one of those dream things that I've always wanted to work on.
It's a little different from other sci-fi films. There's I'm sure there are going to be some films that people mentioned that this is similar to.
Sure.
Um, so the question is, when you read the script, and if you're a film buff like me, you have to say to yourself, there are films you thought of and goes, okay, I'm not going to make it like this. How do
I'm
you
not
make
gonna
this?
make it like Alien.
You know what I'm saying? See, I wasn't going to go there.
I
You're
tried
like,
so hard, like let's just try not to go there.
get the
Like that
elephant
was,
out of the room. A
yeah,
lady wakes up in both films.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here the difference is, obviously we won't spoil anything, but there are a lot more differences, but there's some
There's a lot
similarities there.
more. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. There's a few. There's a few things, and there's a. I think it's such a that movie was so perfect because they just set a foundation for the genre, and it really did just it infected pretty much every sci-fi film to come afterward, I think, because even just the way production design is, and a lot of the way people even create spacesuits, and and the creatures, and it's just there were so many things that they set the tone for that people have been emulating for years. And it's deep in me too. And there was just some moments where I was like, all right, just can't do it like that. Okay.
yeah,
This is
don't
don't
make it
go
easy for
full
us
alien.
people
Yeah.
to start, putting some sides. They did this, they did this.
Yeah,
How do you make it on your
exactly.
own? You have your own flair. Obviously,
Yeah.
your name itself is different from everybody else's. You're not no John Hancock or John
Right.
Williams. You say you're flying
Yeah.
Lotus. It's like, okay, I'm intrigued now.
Right.
So when you get this, it's a matter of keeping the intensity going before we get to the heart of the movie, like what's really going on.
Yeah.
How do you as a director try to keep the intensity going?
Well, I think that's it. That's been an interesting thing from, I would say the first half of the movie too, is like how do we make it feel like a ride and make it feel, like there's the energy and the pacing is right. And, just trying to make the set as well feel like a character, making the planet feel like a character, and that it's just as important. I think that added another level to it to kind of make it feel more immersive, the colors, and trying to really play with the psychological aspect and have that inform the world, her world, since it's from her perspective. I think that was kind of one of the things that kept it feeling alive and having a pulse.
You have your true leads, obviously including yourself in the cast, trying to be a Hitchcock out there, oh, in the video.
I really did not want to do it, man.
you
I really did
know,
not want to do it. I really didn't want to
but
do it.
what happened? Somebody bailed out.
No,
You
you
didn't
know what it
have.
was? We were filming in New Zealand, we were filming in New Zealand, and there was a lack of black people out there, and I had to have somebody black in this movie,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
and it was,
As we like to say, any Othellos in the movie? Nah, nah.
yeah, I was like, I was like, all right, I'll do it. And it was the joke during prep too was like, it's like you're gonna end up doing it. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then, last day, who's gonna do it? Yeah, I guess so. I guess I'll do it.
Yeah,
Suit me up. I'm in it. But
yeah.
I don't regret it. It was a lot of fun, and it was a great experience, and I got to keep my suit. So
But you're also composing the score. So how do you play these many hats and put everything together from writing, from directing the film, acting in the film, and then composing the score?
well, having a great team, so you can, lean on everyone else to do the other parts. Having experienced professionals working. I had the cinematographer who worked on the new Avatar movies, man. Like we were, I was in good hands, all around. VFX house, they've been working on, the the Lord of the Rings stuff, and we had some strong help for such a small movie. Um,
When you have a team like that, with knowing what they've done in the past, obviously you've got to get them to do the right work. That you
yeah,
can't feel, even though it's a small budget film, but you got to make it feel special to them. Like not like it's a
absolutely.
piece of cake.
Absolutely. And I think what was really cool was a lot of them felt like this was an opportunity to do something different because, they had all been, doing the Netflix stuff and they've all been doing these kind of, regular films for a while. And then, they were excited to mix things up a little bit and to shake up the tree.
hmm What does it mean for you to, just get another project done? It's like every time I see a black director, I'm like, okay, there's a new promise. And then granted, it's never easy to get the next project done, greenlit, being able to be distributed, especially we live in a world where it can go to theaters or streamer, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
or
Yeah.
even in a festival. You get to go to a festival like South by Southwest, boom, you have an audience right away.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we had distribution before we got into the festival. So we were really blessed in that, but it's for me, I hope the movie goes well. I hope people like it when it comes out. I don't know if I'm gonna do another one. I really don't want to be one of those people who continues to make movies when the audience hates them, like I don't want to be one of those people. I feel like I'll know if I'm supposed to do another one. I think it'll be really obvious. Uh, I it's a hard gig, man. It's hard to make movies. It's not a glamorous ride. The money's not great. So
You don't do
it's
it for the money. That's the
exactly.
difference.
So it's gotta be worth it. It's gotta be worth the energy and my time and the sacrifice. So, I aside from the opportunity, it's like, wow, am I really gonna do this again? I put 5 years into this movie.
So before I let you go, obviously, as I said, when this movie comes out, what's going to be a good reason to see it, so that way people can say this is something different, maybe slightly original, but I want to see where it goes.
I think it's when people see this movie, they're always like, wow, I can't believe you made that with nothing, basically, with some scraps. And I think for a lot of up and coming filmmakers, independent filmmakers, this is a labor of love. And I think, it shows people, I spend a lot of time doing some of the visual effects myself too. If you get in there and get your hands dirty, you can build these things. They're not super far from our reach, and every year it gets a little bit easier for the independent creative to create things. I just hope at the end of the day, people can see this and be like, wow, okay, there's some inspirational here, some inspiring that maybe we can build, create. I always hope for that from my work, that people can get inspired.
Hey, you got one hell of a film here. Obviously, congrats on the roles you played in the movie, from
Thanks, sir.
director, producer, composer. So keep it going. We're here to support. Let's see what the next one is, but let's get this one off the ground so that people can talk about it, so we know what the next one is. So
Thanks, sir.
I'll see you down the road. Take care.
Appreciate you. Peace.